In the previous lesson, you saw that the first step in creating a weldment is to define its shape using a layout sketch. In this lesson, I'd like to review some special considerations you should keep in mind when creating layout sketches. Here I have a part with several sketches already created. I've used color to help identify the different sketches. I have 3 2D sketches and 1 3D sketch. As you can see, layouts can contain either 2D or 3D sketches, or a combination of both. Deciding when to use 2D or 3D sketches is up to you. Either way, SOLIDWORKS will automatically trim structural members as necessary, no matter which sketch they belong to. If you're not comfortable with 3D sketches, I suggest you use multiple 2D sketches rather than spending too much time on a single 3D sketch. The end result will be the same, and it may save you time. This layout can be created using a single structural member feature. Let's take a look at how that would be done. I'll activate the structural member feature by pressing the icon on the Weldments toolbar. I'll set the standard to ISO, the type to square tube, and the size to 40 by 40 by 4. Now, what I didn't tell you in the previous lesson is that the path segments in a single group must follow one of 2 rules. They must either be all parallel or all contiguous. If I start selecting segments on the red sketch, I can select all of the outside sketch segments, and I can even select segments on the blue sketch that follow the contiguous rule. But if I try to select one of the crossbeam sketch segments, SOLIDWORKS won't let me. To add a structural member to these segments, I'll have to create a new group. I'll add the 2 segments running down the center of the part and again start another group. I can now select the remaining segments because they allow the parallel condition. Keep in mind that the order in which groups are created generally affects which members will be trimmed. Any segments crossing already created members will be trimmed. Notice that each member I just created is trimmed properly to fit around the center and outside members, except for this middle intersection where the same trim would create a weaker 4-corner intersection. Also notice in the last 3 segments I created that the top cross member is positioned in the same orientation as the bottom 2 segments. I want it to be parallel with the other angled segments. Now, since it's part of this group of 3 segments, if I simply try to change the angle of rotation here in the settings, all of the segments will be rotated. To fix this, I'll have to delete this segment from the group and create a new group for just this segment. Now I can rotate the segment by 45 degrees and it's situated the way I want it. Next, I'll move on to the legs of the structure. This will take a total of 3 groups to create. The first will be the 3 parallel legs. Notice if I try to select the 4th leg, it won't let me. So I'll start a new group to add the 4th leg, and since the final support beam doesn't match with any of the other segments, it too will be in its own group. Now that all of the segments are defined, I can click OK and the part is complete.